I'm David Toman, author of nootropicsexpert.com. In this video, I'll share with you the best nootropics for the aging brain. Many of us know people who've lived past 90 and enjoyed a well-functioning brain until the very end. So we know that it's possible to maintain a fully optimized brain throughout life. Most of us also know someone whose quality of life has declined with Alzheimer's or Parkinson's or dementia. Neurodegenerative diseases affects not just one person. Close family and friends are impacted as well. But memory loss is not a normal part of aging. Recent research in aging and brain function have found that as we get older, individual brain molecules, cells, cerebral circulation, and even the physical shape of your brain are affected in some way. Some of these changes begin right around your 21st birthday. So if you're a young neurohacker, this video is for you as much as it is for the aging baby boomer or the senior citizen. We also know that your brain responds to the same types of insults we throw at it as the rest of your body. Attacks by stress, nutritional deficiencies, poor diet, toxins, not enough exercise, or sleep all affect cognition. But the human brain has an amazing ability to repair and maintain itself, even in old age. All we have to do is give it what it needs to survive and thrive, and worries about dementia or memory loss go away. Now in this video, we'll take a look at what can go wrong as your brain ages, and we'll identify the nootropic supplements that can correct those problems before they cause any lasting damage. Our goal is to maintain full or even optimized cognitive function until the very end. Much of the problem with the rise in dementia and many other neurodegenerative diseases comes from the way age-related cognitive decline is dealt with by modern medicine. If you're dealing with memory loss or other cognitive issues, simply putting a label on it is not helpful. Naming the problem does nothing to help you identify and treat the underlying causes of the disease. But we do know that environmental toxins, exercise deficiencies in hormones, inflammation, lack of vitamins, and omega-3 fats, and stress all affect brain function. So the best place to start dealing with a problem like cognitive decline is to get to the bottom of what's causing it. Simple genetic testing can tell you if you carry a gene that puts you at a higher risk for developing Alzheimer's. You can also find out if your brain and body have a harder time detoxing from heavy metals, or a gene variance making it difficult for you to lower your cholesterol. Now, if you have low thyroid function or sex hormones, heavy metal toxicity, inflammation, or deficiencies in certain vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, or fatty acids, you will experience a decline in cognitive function. And if left unchecked, it could develop into dementia, Alzheimer's, or some other neurodegenerative disease. For most people, changes in your diet and the right nootropic supplements can make a profound difference in cognition and memory, stacking the odds in your favor so that you can avoid cognitive dysfunction altogether. Mental decline occurs over time, sometimes quickly and sometimes over many years, but it never gets better unless you do something about it. So if you're dealing with memory loss, it is up to you to do whatever you need to do to determine what imbalances are present in your brain and body. And then use the list of nootropics that we're going to talk about in this video to figure out how to fix them. No single supplement or nootropic stack works for everyone because everyone is different. So each issue investigated here offers several different options for you to try. You don't have to choose all of them, just choose one or two from each category that I'm going to cover and see how they work for you. A little trial and error on your part could mean a sound mind and great memory well into old age. Extensive research has shown that oxidation of DNA, proteins, and lipids by free radicals are responsible for functional decline in your brain. It is estimated that 10,000 oxidative interactions between DNA and free radicals in each of your brain cells occurs every day. Multiply 10,000 by billions of brain cells, and you get the picture. So as you get older, at least one of every 3 proteins per cell is dysfunctional because of oxidative damage. Free radicals and oxidative damage to the brain is by no means the only cause of cognition problems, but the role of free radicals in cognitive dysfunction is a major issue, and one that can be effectively controlled with daily use of nootropic supplements. Now here's a list of nootropics that can defend against oxidative damage and free radicals. Choose 1 or 2 from this list for your nootropic stack. Alpha-lipoic acid. This naturally occurring sulfur-containing fatty acid is unique among other antioxidants because it is both water and fat soluble. Alpha-lipoic acid has a unique ability to neutralize free radicals in all cellular environments. This potent antioxidant can even reduce brain damage after a stroke. Alpha-lipoic acid boosts the synthesis of acetylcholine and increases glucose uptake in brain cells. It also generates other depleted antioxidants, like vitamin C and E and glutathione, and it recycles CoQ10, nutrients that are already in your body that need to be recycled. Reducing inflammation and getting rid of heavy metals, boosting cellular energy and memory. Alpha-lipoic acid should be part of every nootropic stack. The recommended dosage is somewhere between 50 and 600 milligrams per day, depending on your goals. Now see my dosage notes for my full alpha-lipoic acid review for more. CoQ10. CoQ10 is a natural antioxidant synthesized in every single cell in your body and brain. CoQ10 helps produce adenosine triphosphate, or ATP. Your brain cell mitochondria makes ATP. It takes fat and other substances and converts them into usable energy. Studies show that supplementing with CoQ10 protects against brain cell damage by raising energy levels. It preserves brain function and helps fight mental illness and migraines. You have 2 CoQ10 options for your nootropic stack, ubiquinone and ubiquinol. If you're under 25 and in good health, you can likely get the benefit of CoQ10 with the less expensive ubiquinone. But if you're over 25, you're better off with ubiquinol. The recommended CoQ10 dosage for nootropic use is 200 to 400 milligrams per day. You can get therapeutic dosages of alpha-lipoic acid and CoQ10 in Performance Lab Energy. It comes as 2 capsules in a supplement, and it's cheaper on putting it together. It's our lipoic acid, CoQ10, PQQ, and Alcar, or acetyl L-carnitine. It's worth checking it out. It's called Performance Lab Energy. I've got a link below this video. Creatine. This non-essential amino acid is synthesized in your liver and is used in your brain to recharge adenosine triphosphate. That is made by your mitochondria and your brain cells. ATP is directly involved in producing, packaging, and secreting neurotransmitters, helping boost intelligence, improve memory, facilitate faster thinking, and improve mood. Creatine boosts ATP, which boosts cellular metabolism, helping to protect neurons from damage caused by toxins. Keeping cellular energy levels up also helps protect mitochondria against the assault of free radicals. Recommended dosage for creatine is 5 grams per day. Ginkgo Biloba. Ginkgo Biloba is one of the oldest species of trees on Earth and has been used in Chinese medicine for millennia. Ginkgo also helps reduce oxidative damage by eliminating free radicals. Ginkgo also increases nitric oxide levels, which dilates blood vessels, which increases blood flow in your brain, which improves oxygen and glucose availability to neurons, which improves memory, recall, cognition, and learning. A study with 30 stroke patients looked at the effects of supplementing with ginkgo in stroke recovery. The patients were given 1,500 milligrams of ginkgo per day. Researchers found that the stroke patients using ginkgo had lower oxidative stress, inflammation, and better antioxidant levels, along with a greater decrease in C-reactive protein and an increase in circulating antioxidants. The recommended nootropic dosage for Ginkgo biloba extract is 120 to 240 milligrams per day. N-Acetyl L-cysteine, or NAC. NAC is a derivative of the naturally occurring amino acid L-cysteine, and it works primarily by helping to restore your body's natural antioxidant glutathione. Glutathione is a potent antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and free radical scavenger. Supplementing with NAC modulates glutamate levels and dopamine release in your brain, and it helps restore dopamine receptors. Adding NAC to your nootropic stack helps reduce irritability, anxiety, and depression. And it protects your brain from excess glutamate and oxidative stress. Recommended dosage of N-Acetyl L-cysteine is 600 milligrams 3 times per day. Pine bark extract. This extract of maritime pine bark offers several nootropic benefits to the aging brain. It prevents the accumulation of oxidatively damaged proteins. It may reduce the risk of diseases like Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and Huntington's. Pine bark extract helps increase cerebral blood flow by increasing nitric oxide, which dilates blood vessels. It prevents decreases in dopamine and norepinephrine. And the glutathione and GSH disulfide reductase ratio, neurotransmitters problems which contribute to the hyperactivity and ADHD. Studies show that pine bark extract helps reduce DNA damage caused by oxidation, and it inhibits pro-inflammatory gene expression and glycation. Recommended dosage of pine bark extract is up to 300 milligrams per day. Research over the last several years has shown that our brain has the remarkable ability to rewire itself throughout life. Every time we have a new thought, encode a new memory, or learn a new skill, we are building a new neural network in our brain. Integral to these neural networks are neurons connected through their dendrites and axons via synapses. The number and size of synapses change during aging. During normal healthy brain aging, the numbers of synapses remain the same in most brain regions. In regions where they decrease, the remaining synapses may increase in size to compensate. On the other hand, there is a profound decrease in synapse numbers in brain regions involved in learning and memory in people with Alzheimer's. Other brain regions lose synapses in Parkinson's and Huntington's disease. A reduction in number of synapses could be the cause of brain shrinkage as we get older. Our brain loses about 5% of its weight per decade after age 40. Studies have shown that this synapse loss as neurodegenerative disorders occurs early in the disease process, long before brain cell death and symptoms occur. Most of the signal transduction pathways that regulate the health and survival of your neurons take place in synapses. Research shows that synapse signaling systems are particularly vulnerable to oxidative stress and decreases in energy. So refer to my previous section in this video on free radicals for nootropics to prevent oxidative stress. But we also know that age-related decreases in neurotropic factors promote synapse degeneration and brain cell death. We can help prevent age-related problems with synapses by using nootropics that will promote the growth of new synapses. It's called synaptogenesis. And we can increase brain-derived nootropic factor, or BDNF, that boosts synapse growth and repair. Now, for a list of nootropics to increase BDNF, I've got an article called 13 Nootropics to Boost BDNF. It's over on Nootropics Expert. I'll put a link to it below this video. Now, here are some supplements to consider for synapse health and growth. Select 1 or 2 for your nootropic stack. And for more options, check that article I was talking about on BDNF. Ashwagandha. This ancient remedy is one of the most powerful herbs in Ayurvedic healing. Ashwagandha helps regenerate axons and dendrites in neurons, and it helps reconstruct synapses. Recommended nootropic dosage of ashwagandha extract is 250 to 500 milligrams per day. Artichoke extract. This natural PDE4 inhibitor supports the secondary messenger cyclic adenosine monophosphate, or CAMP. CAMP helps stimulate the production of CREB, or cAMP response element binding protein. CREB is a protein needed for new neuron and synapse growth. Increasing CREB enhances long-term potentiation, which supports the formation of memory. Recommended nootropic dosage of artichoke extract is 900 milligrams a day. Berberine. Berberine increases glucagon-like peptide, or GLP-1. GLP-1 is a peptide hormone that plays a crucial role in controlling diabetes, and it's involved in cognition, learning, and neuroprotection. Studies have shown that GLP-1 enhances synaptic plasticity. It also reduces the aggregation of amyloid B protein and the microtubule-associated protein tau, which are associated with Alzheimer's disease. Berberine also works as an antioxidant and is an acetylcholinesterase inhibitor, which increases acetylcholine levels, which improves learning and memory. Recommended nootropic dosage for berberine is 900 to 1500 milligrams per day. Forskolin. Forskolin is the only known nootropic supplement to naturally and directly boost cAMP, or cyclic adenosine monophosphate. cAMP helps directly stimulate the production of CREB. CREB is a protein needed for new neuron and synapse growth. Increasing CREB enhances long-term potentiation, which supports the formation of long-term memory. Recommended nootropic dosage of Forskolin is 125 milligrams to 250 milligrams a day. Inositol, or vitamin B8. Inositol is used in your brain as a secondary messenger. It facilitates communication between brain cells. All of your major neurotransmitters need inositol to relay messages. Neurotransmitters, neuromodulators, and hormones have been shown to exert their action via an intercellular, or inside the cell, secondary messenger system in which the activated neuroreceptor stimulates the turnover of inositol phospholipids. Lower than normal levels of myoinositol in middle-aged adults can signal the initial stages of cognitive decline, such as Alzheimer's and dementia. Recommended nootropic dosage of inositol is up to 3 grams a day. Magnesium. Magnesium is the 4th most abundant mineral in your body, and it's critical for optimal cognitive health. It is a cofactor in more than 300 enzymatic reactions in your body and brain. Magnesium regulates the activity in neuron ion channels, governing the flow of neurotransmitters. It also regulates brain synaptic plasticity, which is critical for learning and memory. Recommended nootropic dosage for magnesium L-Theanine, or any chelated magnesium for that matter, is up to 1 gram a day. Pterostilbene. This naturally derived polyphenol antioxidant is gaining a reputation in the nootropics community for controlling brain inflammation, boosting dopamine, helping reverse cognitive decline, and fighting brain cell aging. Pterostilbene boosts insulin-like growth factor and modulates the receptor kinase pathway that is central in the learning and memory process. It reduces reactive oxygen species, or ROS, and increases the antioxidant glutathione and superoxide dismutase, or SOD. And pterostilbene has been shown in clinical trials to elevate BDNF in the hippocampus, improving learning and memory. Recommended nootropic dosage of pterostilbene is 50 milligrams a day. Uridine monophosphate. Uridine is a precursor to RNA. RNA provides instructions to your DNA to help create memory by facilitating connections between brain neurons, synapses. Uridine is a precursor to the synthesis of phosphatidylcholine, a phospholipid that is primarily the component of healthy brain cell membranes. Uridine also promotes neurite in synapse growth. Recommended uridine monophosphate as a nootropic, the dosage is 150 to 250 milligrams twice a day. We have many nootropic supplement options that are positively effective for the various pathways involved in abnormal brain aging and neurodegenerative disease. The big drug companies are also searching for disease-specific approaches to combat neurodegenerative diseases. In the case of Alzheimer's, for example, they're looking for drugs that inhibit B and Y secretases that reduce AB production. Dementia is a huge problem and growing every day. It's now the 6th leading cause of death in the USA. You should be particularly concerned if you have a family member dealing with dementia or Alzheimer's, because certain genetic abnormalities put you at a higher risk for these neurodegenerative diseases. But it seems the executives of these big pharmaceuticals aren't frequent visitors to this here Nootropics Expert YouTube channel, because we found several nootropic supplements that studies have shown specifically help fight the types of abnormalities that lead to dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and Huntington's disease. The key to neurodegenerative disease prevention with any of the following nootropics is to add them to your stack a couple of decades before symptoms of any of these diseases would normally show up. But it's never too late. Huperzine-A. It boosts neuron resistance to beta-amyloid-induced dysfunction that could lead to diseases like Alzheimer's. Beta-amyloid affects ATP levels in mitochondria. Huperzine-A protects against this damage. Recommended nootropic dosage for Huperzine-A is 200 micrograms every second or third day. You can't dose it every day because it's got a 24-hour half-life. Use it only every second or third day. Keep that in mind for Huperzine-A. Resveratrol. Resveratrol activates AMPK, which reduces levels of amyloid beta deposits in the cerebral cortex. Resveratrol prevents B-amyloid aggregation by scavenging oxygen-free radicals and inducing protective enzymes such as heme oxygenase, again preventing the buildup of deposits causing Alzheimer's. Resveratrol can also prevent amyloid beta proteins from clumping together into small collections of individual molecules called oligomers. This action alone has a profound effect on preventing amyloid beta damage and preventing Alzheimer's. Recommended nootropic dosage for resveratrol is 20 to 250 milligrams per day. Piracetam. Piracetam is used around the world to treat cognitive impairment and aging, brain injuries, dementia, and Alzheimer's disease, except for here in the USA. Several studies show that piracetam enhances ATP production, mitochondrial membranes, and neurite outgrowth in neurons. In one study, researchers showed that piracetam is able to repair mitochondria in those with mild Alzheimer's and return cell function back to normal. Recommended nootropic dosage for piracetam is 1,600 milligrams 3 times a day. St. John's wort. Research shows that St. John's wort extract decreases oxidative stress, it prevents neurotoxicity, and it controls inflammation. And it may be an effective treatment for oxidative stress-related neurodegenerative disorders like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. Recommended nootropic dosage for St. John's wort extract is up to 900 to 1,800 milligrams per day. Turmeric. Curcumin, which is the most active compound that is isolated from turmeric, may help macrophages clear the amyloid plaques found in Alzheimer's disease. Curcumin has anti-proliferative actions on microglia. The effect of curcumin on neuroglial cells involves decreased astrocyte proliferation, improved myelin production, and increased activity and differentiation of oligodendrocytes. In other words, curcumin deals with activated microglia and reactive astrocytes around amyloid beta plaques in the brains of patients with Alzheimer's. Curcumin decreases the main chemical for inflammation and the transcription of inflammatory cytokines, the type of chronic inflammation found in the neurons of Alzheimer's disease. Several studies show curcumin inhibits the inflammation which is linked to Alzheimer's. Curcumin binds to amyloid beta proteins found in Alzheimer's disease and blocks its self-assembly. Studies show that heavy metals can induce amyloid beta aggregation and toxicity and are concentrated in the Alzheimer's brain. Curcumin, by the interaction with heavy metals such as cadmium and lead, prevents neurotoxicity caused by these metals. And finally, high-fat diets and increased blood cholesterol are linked to increased amyloid plaques. Curcumin inhibits cholesterol formation and decreases serum peroxides, benefiting the prevention of Alzheimer's disease. If you did one thing to prevent Alzheimer's and other neurodegenerative diseases, add 750 milligrams of turmeric extract, 95% curcuminoids, to your nootropic stack and take it 3 times a day for the rest of your life. Vinpocetine. Vinpocetine prevents the upregulation of nuclear factor kappa light chain enhancer of activated B cells. For short, it's called NFKB, is a protein complex that controls transcription of DNA, cytokine production, which are signaling proteins, and cell survival. TNFA is a signaling protein, a cytokine, which is involved in inflammation in neurons. Vinpocetine inhibits this action. Vinpocetine also reduces TNFA-induced expression of microRNA of pro-inflammatory molecules such as interleukin-1b, monocyte chemoattractant protein 1, and vascular cell adhesion molecule 1. Researchers have found that vinpocetine prevents this inflammatory response at the cellular nucleus level. This is a very big deal because TNFA contributes to the neuronal cell death found in Parkinson's disease. And there is growing evidence that the accumulation of amyloid B protein leads to an upregulation of interleukins and TNFA that contributes to neurodegeneration leading to Alzheimer's disease. Recommended dosage of vinpocetine is 10 milligrams 3 times per day. Your chances of developing white matter lesions, strokes, and dementia increase with age. If your family has a history of these types of diseases, your chances are even higher. White matter lesions are damage to the white matter in your brain. The primary cause seems to be poor blood circulation and the development of blood vessels that are too small to carry blood efficiently. Blood vessel damage is associated with high blood pressure and small vessel disease, and puts you at a greater risk for stroke and other cognitive problems. Dementia and vascular dementia seem to be related. Both types are associated with a host of brain problems, including increased risk of Alzheimer's, strokes, disorders of the blood-brain barrier, and arteriosclerosis. Now, research has shown that problems with cerebral blood flow, white matter lesions, and other associated brain cellular changes begin in midlife. So it's never too early to begin adding nootropics to your stack to help avoid these types of issues, especially if you have a family history of dementia or stroke. Now, you may find that a nootropic you're already using for boosting some other area of cognitive health also increases blood flow, which protects your brain from dementia or stroke. Now, so consider choosing one or two from the following list that I'm going to talk about for better cerebral circulation and neuroprotection, and avoid dementia later in life. Cat's claw. This South American vine has a potent anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects that support DNA repair, immune function, and normal cell division. Cat's claw also protects against brain damage from stroke. Recommended nootropic dosage of cat's claw standardized extract is up to 250 to 300 milligrams per day. Forskolin. We use Forskolin as part of the Siltab stack to increase CAMP, which helps boost cognition, long-term memory, and alertness. But Forskolin has also been used traditionally to treat hypertension or high blood pressure. congestive heart failure, and angina, which is reduced blood flow to the heart. Studies show that Forskolin's ability to boost blood flow is related to its C-amp elevating ability. It works as a vasodilator, which means that it enlarges blood vessels, allowing for freer flow of blood. Nootropic use of Forskolin extract is 125 to 250 milligrams per day. Ginkgo Biloba. Studies consistently show that ginkgo increases cerebral blood flow by increasing nitric oxide. Nitric oxide dilates blood vessels, allowing for better elimination of free radicals and reducing oxidative stress, providing more oxygen and glucose to neurons. Recommended nootropic dosage of Ginkgo Biloba extract is 120 to 240 milligrams per day. Oat Straw. Oat straw increases blood flow in the brain through several mechanisms of action. It contains the amino acid arginine, which synthesizes to create nitric oxide. Nitric oxide dilates blood vessels, allowing more blood to flow. And there's bioactive compounds that are unique to oats that have been shown to enhance nitric oxide production in human smooth muscle cells. Suppression of inflammatory cytokines in combination with increased nitric oxide increases blood flow. Recommended nootropic dosage for oat straw extract is 1600 milligrams per day. Pine bark extract. As a nootropic, pine bark extract is used primarily to increase blood flow. It does it by increasing the activity of nitric oxide in the brain. Recommended nootropic dosage for pine bark extract is up to 300 milligrams per day. Resveratrol. Some speculate that resveratrol found in red wine accounts for the French paradox, and how the French can dine on baguettes and cheese and pâté and pastries while avoiding putting on weight and living longer. A research team at Northumbria University at Newcastle upon Tyne in the UK found that resveratrol increased cerebral circulation. And this effect was entirely dependent on the size of the dose of resveratrol. And it happened even after a single dose. Recommended nootropic dosage for resveratrol is 20 to 250 milligrams per day. Vinpocetine. It's a semi-synthetic derivative of vincamine, which is an alkaloid derived from the lesser periwinkle plant, or Vinca minor. Vinpocetine is used primarily to increase cerebral blood flow. Vinpocetine inhibits an enzyme called PDE1 while reducing calcium levels in brain cells. When both of these are elevated, the smooth muscle and blood vessels contract, narrowing the diameter of blood vessels and restricting blood flow to that area of the brain. In two separate clinical studies, chronic ischemic post-stroke patients were treated with either a single infusion or a daily infusion of vinpocetine for 2 weeks. The results showed that increased cerebral blood flow, especially in the thalamus, basal ganglia, and visual cortex regions of the brain. Vinpocetine should be part of every nootropic stack. Recommended dosage of vinpocetine is 10 milligrams 3 times a day. Vitamin B3 or niacin. Studies have shown that supplementing with niacin improves cognitive function. It enhances cellular energy. It boosts cerebral circulation. It increases endurance. It switches off aging genes. And it extends lifespan. Niacin supplementation has been used to treat addiction, ADHD, arthritis, Alzheimer's, depression, memory loss, and schizophrenia, and for detoxing nearly every foreign substance that can find its way into your fat cells. Researchers at Henry Ford Hospital in Detroit tested the hypothesis that niacin could increase synaptic plasticity and axon growth in stroke patients. In this study, niacin increased synaptic plasticity and axon growth as a result of restored BDNF, or brain-derived nootropic factor. Recommended nootropic dosage of niacin is 1,000 milligrams 3 times per day. Now, I recommend using inositol hexanicotinate, which is an extended release version of niacin. It does not cause the typical niacin flush. It works, and it is not toxic to the liver. High doses of regular niacin above 1,500 milligrams are toxic to your liver. Vitamin B6 or paroxetine. Vitamin B6 is needed to regulate homocysteine. High homocysteine levels are linked to inflammation that can lead to blood vessel damage and possible plaque buildup leading to heart attack or stroke. And P5P, the active form of vitamin B6, helps control inflammation in your brain. Low levels of P5P are associated with severe inflammation, leading to neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, and contributes to heart disease, arthritis, inflammatory bowel disease, and diabetes. Recommended nootropic dosage of vitamin B6, P5P, is up to 100 milligrams per day. And vitamin B12, or methylcobalamin, is essential for the synthesis of DNA and RNA and neurotransmitters and the maintenance of myelin sheaths that protects axons and for red blood cell formation. Vitamin B12 is needed to regulate homocysteine. High homocysteine levels are linked to inflammation that can lead to blood vessel damage and possible plaque buildup, leading to heart attack or stroke. Recommended nootropic dosage for vitamin B12, and use the methylcobalamin version, is 1 milligram a day. Studies show that the major neurotransmitters dopamine and serotonin levels decline as we age. Dopamine levels begin to decline by around 10% per decade starting in your early 20s, leading to declines in cognitive and motor performance. In other words, you don't think as fast as you once did, and you don't move as fast either. Serotonin and brain-derived nootropic factor also decline with age. The enzyme monoamine oxidase increases with age, which degrades serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine. The more MAO increases, the more you experience its negative effects on memory, mood, and behavior. Now, monoamine oxidase inhibitors, or MAOIs, have long been used to treat behavior disorders, including depression. But we have several natural nootropic options for increasing neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin. And we even have natural nootropic supplement alternatives for inhibiting MAO to keep neurotransmitter levels up as we age. Aniracetam. This fat-soluble ampakine nootropic is well known in the nootropics community for its anxiolytic effects. Aniracetam can reduce anxiety, depression, fear, and increase sociability. Clinical studies show that aniracetam affects acetylcholine, dopamine, and serotonin receptors in your brain. Recommended nootropic dosage for aniracetam is 750 milligrams twice a day. Now, each dose needs to be taken with a healthy fat, like unrefined coconut oil or MCT oil, and with a good choline supplement, like alpha-GPC or CDP-choline, because using aniracetam boosts the use of acetylcholine in your brain up to 200 to 300%. DHEA. It's often called the youth hormone. DHEA is the most abundant hormone precursor in your body and is the source of your sex hormones. DHEA levels decrease as you age, starting at around your 25th birthday. Higher levels of DHEA are directly related to optimal concentration, working memory, and executive function. And DHEA is a natural MAO inhibitor, improving mood and energy levels while alleviating depression. Recommended nootropic dosage of DHEA is 25 to 50 milligrams per day for anyone over 18. L-DOPA, or Mucuna Pruriens. L-DOPA is synthesized in your brain by the amino acid, or from the amino acid L-Tyrosine, and is the precursor to dopamine, epinephrine, and norepinephrine, and it boosts growth hormone levels in your brain to increase the production of neurons and glial cells. L-DOPA also produces neuromelanins, which are similar to the melanin pigment in your skin, and in your brain they absorb toxic quinones and chelate heavy metals like mercury and lead. Recommended dosage of L-DOPA, now this is Mucuna Pruriens extract at 98%, is 250 to 500 milligrams per day. It's going to be a higher dosage if you have a weaker extract. L-Theanine is an amino acid found in green tea. L-Theanine increases GABA, serotonin, and dopamine levels in your brain, as well as increasing brain-derived nootropic factor and nerve growth factor. And it's an antagonist of NMDA receptors, which can inhibit synaptic release of glutamate, protecting your brain from overstimulation caused by glutamate and possible glutamate toxicity. Research has found that if L-theanine is present in the body at the time a stroke occurs, brain damage is significantly reduced. A study in China concluded that there was a 40% decreased risk of stroke in those who had drank green, black, or jasmine teas. Recommended nootropic dosage of L-theanine is 200 to 400 milligrams once or twice per day. N-Acetyl L-Tyrosine, or NALT. NALT is a highly bioavailable form of the amino acid L-Tyrosine, which converts into dopamine, norepinephrine, and epinephrine. NALT can boost libido, memory, focus, concentration, mood. It offers antidepressant effects, and it improves executive function in those with ADHD. Recommended nootropic dosage for NALT is 350 to 500 milligrams twice a day. Oat Straw. Oat straw extract inhibits monoamine oxidase B, which increases dopamine levels in your brain, helping brain disorders like ADHD and Parkinson's disease. Oat straw extract also suppresses inflammatory cytokines by inhibiting nuclear factor Kb, or NF-kB activation, cytokines that are implicated in a number of brain disorders, including major depression, schizophrenia, and Alzheimer's disease. Recommended dosage for oat straw extract is 800 to 1600 milligrams per day. Phenylalanine is a highly bioavailable essential amino acid. Your body naturally converts L-phenylalanine into the amino acid L-Tyrosine, which is then converted into L-DOPA. And then decarboxylation of L-DOPA results in the synthesis of the neurotransmitter dopamine. Using phenylalanine as a nootropic helps fight chronic pain. It improves mood and it boosts energy. It also helps in the relief from anxiety. It improves focus and it boosts motivation. D-L-phenylalanine is used to help combat ADHD and Parkinson's. Recommended dosage of phenylalanine is 500 milligrams up to 3 times per day. And vitamin B complex. The B vitamins are arguably the most important anti-aging nootropic supplements we have available. Vitamin B1, or thiamine, is involved in the citric acid cycle that is used to produce adenosine triphosphate energy in your mitochondria. Vitamin B3, or niacin, is a precursor to NAD and NADH, which provides electrons for ATP synthesis that is done in your mitochondria. Niacin increases BDNF, which is involved in synaptic plasticity and axon growth for memory and overall brain health, and it stimulates the production of dopamine, norepinephrine, and serotonin. And vitamin B5, or pantothenic acid, is essential for the synthesis of acetylcholine, norepinephrine, and serotonin. And it's at the heart of the citric acid cycle and electron transport chain, which helps convert nutrients from food into energy, which is used to make ATP in mitochondria. Vitamin B6, or peroxidine, is a required coenzyme for the synthesis of dopamine, epinephrine, GABA, melatonin, norepinephrine, and serotonin. In fact, more than 140 distinct enzyme activities in your brain and body depends on the P5P version of vitamin B6. And vitamin B9, or folate, is involved in gene expression, amino acid synthesis, myelin synthesis, and is required for the synthesis of the neurotransmitters dopamine, epinephrine, and norepinephrine, and serotonin. And vitamin B12, or methylcobalamin, is essential for the synthesis of DNA, RNA, and neurotransmitters, the maintenance on myelin sheaths, protecting neurons and axons, and red blood cell formation. It's also needed to regulate homocysteine. High homocysteine levels are linked to inflammation that can lead to blood vessel damage and possible plaque buildup leading to heart attack or stroke. Now choose a B-complex vitamin that contains the highly bioavailable forms of folate and not folic acid, and methylcobalamin and not cyanocobalamin. You can get effective dosages of N-Acetyl L-Tyrosine, L-Theanine, pine bark extract, and the bioavailable forms of vitamins B6, B9, and B12 in MindLab Pro. Most of the nootropics reviewed here on the Nootropics Expert channel could be considered anti-aging supplements. We've done tons of research that show that taking the right nootropic supplements can optimize brain health and protect you from cognitive decline well into the future. But choosing the best nootropics for you can be a challenge because we have dozens of nootropic supplements to choose from, including amino acids, herbs, vitamins, minerals, and even the racetam family of nootropics. The permutations and combinations to make your perfect anti-aging nootropic stack can melt your brain, which is kind of counter to what we're aiming for here. So here's a suggestion. Choose one or two from each of the categories listed in this video. Carefully review the full article on each to make sure that you understand what each nootropic does and how they may interact with your prescription medications. Check out the possible side effects and select the lowest recommended dosage for each when you're starting out. And you can save money and time with fewer capsules by including Performance Lab Energy and MindLab Pro in your supplement choices. Now, from what we now know, we can go a long way in giving our brain a chance to heal and recover if you have problems with things like memory or depression. But even if you aren't dealing with cognitive decline yet, you need to take steps today to prevent the aging of your brain and maintaining long-term optimal health for cognition. So, that's the best nootropics for the aging brain. Click on the link below this video for a full transcript of this video. You'll also find reviews for all of the well-known nootropics used today on Nootropics Expert, as well as dozens of articles for dealing with various cognitive problems. Now, if you have any questions or you want to share your experience when using nootropic supplements for the aging brain, please use the comment section either below this video or at the bottom of the post over on Nootropics Expert. I respond to comments and questions over on Nootropics Expert usually the same day. Sometimes it takes me a little bit longer to get to them on YouTube here. If you haven't already, download your free copy of Secrets of the Optimized Brain. It's got details on 92 of the most popular nootropics in use today. And while you're here, consider getting a copy of my book, Head First, the complete guide to healing and optimizing your brain with nootropic supplements. It's nearly 600 pages, and you can use it as a user's manual for your brain. I also offer personal consultations. If you think you could use more one-on-one help, links to my schedule are below this video. And if you want to see more videos on all the best nootropics used today, subscribe to this channel before you leave. I'll be putting up new videos on nootropics and optimizing your brain every week. I'm David Toman, author of Nootropics Expert.